In that case, we can start. I think it would be best if our guest can introduce himself. Hi.
Yeah, good evening. Um, my name is Revyn, and I'm yeah, I would say head of Headwind simulations. Um, or this is supposed that what the cruise level said in the past about me. Yeah, hello.
Hi. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us again. You joined us last time when we had the opportunity to showcase the preview build of the Phase 1 update. Now we are flying in the first Phase 1 update with another, let's say, additions. We were already speaking what changed in this update, but I think if you like, you could tell us a little bit what changed as well.
Yeah. The build you got from us is a little bit special. It got some nice enhancements already. I'm not sure if you have showed it already. So we added behind the captain seat the light bulb panel. This is a spare panel where pilots have the ability to get a new light bulb if some is broken or is not working. There should be also conductors for for electrical stuff. So we enhancing the cockpit a little bit more to match it to the real life one. That's what we started with the Phase 1 update. And so we go on and progress it even more until we have the complete model in there. So there will be more changes in the future. Some more animations, I think, like the tri-table for the cockpit and for the captain. It's a first officer as example. At the moment, we're working on the traffic system and what details are showed on the navigation display. So like call signs. So we will have more about this in the future announcements. We yesterday posted an update regarding this showcase, what we already worked on. I hope that we could give you a preview of this already, but unfortunately we are not ready yet to really give it out for previewing it. We had some special user, Elmo Radar, in the past
Yeah, I saw
for
that.
3 days. Yeah. And he has the first showcase preview, and we see some details we want to fix before we show more previews. But I think we were very close that this will be in the next release update, which is targeted for release in this month.
Okay, so we will have something to look forward to. Another update this month. I already saw in your showcase yesterday on your Discord that there will be coming new callouts. The Auto-T callouts will be added to the new updates. Right now we have the V1 callout and the Auto Break Off callout, which are great additions as well.
Yeah, that's a nice progress that we have made there. We were able to bring our own revised package. It's a sound package for the flight simulator, and started to get into the stuff. And we started with the V1 call out, which is already in your build, I think.
Yes, it is.
And in the last 2 days, we added more to this with new callouts from 90, 70, 80, 60, and I think 5 is also now available. And we changed the callout sounds. There was a user who has some problems with the pitch and the voice, I would say, and we redone the complete full callouts. Yeah. But yeah, it's a nice step because we didn't have before our own sound packages. We had the sound packages from FTSIM, which provided us with engine sounds, which are a long time now in the world. And now we are getting our own stuff with our own packages into the sim. So I see that there will be in the future more to come.
That's great. One thing we had already some messages in our chat today was the flare mode. Some pilots
Yeah,
are not getting used to it right now. I personally had not that big of a problem, maybe because you warned me in the first place. Um, but I've seen you made some progress in that as well in this build.
I think it's a hard step for us to reproduce this problem. Our testers and developers couldn't really reproduce the issues some people has with the flare mode, and this wobbling, what is like the new 6 release there, I think. Yeah, so we couldn't reproduce it. We tried to get in contact with users who have these problems. We now have made some adjustments to the flight model itself and to the flare mode again. And one of the user who has been affected of this issue could say at the test yesterday that the problems are now gone. So I'm looking really forward that this will now be fixed for all in future update, so that nobody has any complaints about the flare mode and the landing flight model feeling now. So yeah.
Yeah, I did my first test with this build yesterday, flying to Dubai. Had a very good handling on landing. So actually, I am pretty confident that you're making this perfect.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And we will see with the next pre-release update what the wider audience would say. So
I think,
looking forward.
yeah, we as well. I think most of our viewers have one question in mind. This was phase one now. When are we gonna see more like phase two, for example?
Yeah. It's, I think, the most demanded question right now, when we will have a phase 2 update. I can't say it for sure at the moment because we are completely in the development and in the progress right now. We have our Renew cockpit already ready, and we try to transfer now the stuff from there into the actual cockpit.
Mm.
The problem here is that we need to adjust the size and dimensions because the exterior models on the new and the current are completely different.
Yeah, you said that
And
last time.
yeah, and that's why we need to make adjustments to the model itself, which then result in texture updates. And yeah, UV mapping must be completely renewed, and so yeah, it's a hard progress step we have to do there. So we are not finished it yet. The models are still onto it, and when they are finished with it, we can start to enhance and implement the A330 systems, which are needed to be working then. So that will be another step,
Absolutely.
which will be huge. So at the moment, I cannot say when it will happen and how long it will take. I hope that it will take not too long. So yeah, I don't want to specify exactly date on this.
I think that answers Ty Game's questions in our chat as well, who's asking if we will see it in the first half of the year.
I really cannot say it. I wish I could say. It's hard to make a release time frame for it. So we learn from the past when we say we want this ready to this date and announce it. It didn't going out quite well, and
Well,
we need to delay it. And yeah, so I don't want to say when we will have it.
well, what we all have to keep in mind is that you are a freeware developer and you're doing that in your spare time. So, um, also for that, huge thanks. You're giving us this project. It's very nice to fly. I think since the phase one update released, I didn't know flight without the A330. So I love it.
Yeah, and we are dedicated to it. It's not only me, it's also some more developers who making this in our free time because we have the yeah the amusement to do some things. And yeah, I think we have a really good quality already as freeware project over here, and
Absolutely.
I think it's a good way, and something never has been before in Flight Simulator before 220. So the fly-by-wire project is great. The Synaptics Synology projects are great. So yeah, it's complete different scene we have right now with Flight Simulator 2020 and 24, and I'm very dedicated to it. So yeah, let's see what's coming next.
Absolutely. We spoke about the cockpit last time. You started to talk that you started to tell us that there will be coming a new outside model as well. Did you already start working on this, or are you focusing on the cockpit right now?
Yeah. So the renewed cockpit has the dependency of a renewed outside model. So we have already started the work in the last year, 2 years ago, I think, and made tool adjustments. We showcased some of this already in our Discord server. So yeah, the work already is good progressing there. So we are now have to texture the outside model. That's another thing which is not ready yet and still work in progress. We showcased it, I think, the renewed landing gear, main landing gear
Mm.
already.
Yeah.
This is the part which is ready, and then we need to animate the whole thing. So we cannot just copy over animations from the old to the new. That's not quite possible. So we need to animate everything that it will be looking good and nice. And this will also take some time, I think. It's not the easiest part in the 3D software. I'm
Mm.
not really into it. I am just the developer. I have to make it work in the game at the end. So, yeah, that's the current state of the outside models.
Okay. Um, we all have witnessed the catastrophic start of Flight Simulator 2024. You do not currently support the airplane in this simulator, even though it is possible to use it. I heard from some other users. What are your plans on that? Are you planning to support it in the future, near future, for the newer flight simulator as well?
We are looking very closely what is happening on the new platform, and also what is happening in the SDK. So I can say that we will have it supported in the future. If there are not problems are solved which are at the moment there for the users which have really problems. So streaming is a big problem. Servers are unstable. The SDK has many bugs. I think PMGG wrote it already what is not really good working. So yeah, we will monitor what has happened in 2024, and we hope that the stuff get fixed. And then we hope that the SDK will be also getting updated with all necessary informations to enhance the models and to bring the features also to current mods. And then we will see what the future will bring.
By the way, if any of our viewers has any questions, feel free to write them in the chat. We will be answering these as well. So yeah, just if you have any questions, let us know. Okay, we were talking about the improvements which will be coming in the next update, and I think a question which we heard even more than when will come phase 2 is when do these improvements be coming for us?
As the current ones,
Yes, the current ones that we have in the preview
um,
build now.
yeah, um, it will come in the next weeks. Definitely, we will have an update in February. This will be a new pro-release update, and I think we will also bring the flare mode enhancements to the release build.
Hmm.
So we are quite on some stuff. We want to integrate to before we release it. So the signs are very good that we will have the update really soon in this month.
Sounds great. We have a question in the chat. It is about the if, possible performance calculator in the EFB. Is that happening?
The takeoff performance calculator,
I
I
think yes.
assume.
I think yes.
Yeah. So it's quite hard to do it for the A330neo, to be honest, because the informations are not really available for us as developers. So we have access to FCOMs, we have access to analysis, we have access to charts from Airbus. But the problem is that in the new FCOMs, Airbus has stripped down all information on engine performance and factors which are in the old 330 FCOM were available. They stripped all the information out and made this Fly Smart app available for pilots. It's takeoff performance calculator by Airbus,
Yeah.
and they put all the information into this app, and this app is very, very closely behind, yeah, some doors and locks. So it's not really possible to get the hands on this app to get the information we want needed.
Ah,
So we
yeah.
have some pilots who can run some stuff for us and take some calculations, but it's very hard to make it into a formula, into code, that it will be good enough to have a performance calculator which is 100% accurate.
Yeah, I
I
think.
think the fly-by-wire has the same problems with the A320 and the A330 at the moment,
Yeah, they
because
have.
330 has an awesome now takeoff performance calculator. So we will be looking what we can do to enhance it. We have right now some contact to the Zimbrief team, which has a takeoff performance calculator, which is wrong at the moment because they didn't satisfy with the regulations which has Airbus defined. So many users become too low speeds warning when they use outside calculators,
Yeah.
like the free flex temp calculator and the Zimbrief calculator. We are in contact with the developers that they enhance their models for the calculation that it will fit to our airframe.
Okay. Yeah, I used
And
the flex calculator today, and like you said, I had the one which was very, very low, and I had the low speed warning.
yeah, and that's the problem because Airbus has said V1 is the V1 is different based on height of the airport,
Yeah.
of the altitude. And I think when you are on sea level, the V1 has to be minimum 129 knots. And the most calculators going to 120, 124, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
So they are not fitting in these parameters from Airbus. So they need to update it. We have a fork of the takeoff performance calculator, this flex thing, and enhanced it already. We are still awaiting of the developer that he will approve the changes,
Mm.
because it seems that the project is dead for some months now, and there's no active development anymore. So yeah, we need to look at what we can do to enhance this outside external calculators to have it better for all users at the moment.
One question.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
No, you can go on. You can go on.
and if we put based on this stuff a calculator into the EFB is at the moment not really doable, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you want to do it right. I understand that. It's perfectly fine. One personal question of mine is because it is in the A320 from fly-by-wire, um, the gravity gear extension. Will you include that in the future updates?
I think yes. You need to animate it. It's currently not animated in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Besides of that, it's the logic is really the same, I would say, between the 320 and the 330. So it's doable. We just didn't have the time to do it at the moment because it's not so high prioritized at the moment.
It's absolutely understandable.
But it's on our list to do. So it will be there.
Absolutely understandable. I think one question I also heard when I read through every communities I'm in is the question after a cabin. There is, I think, a cabin mod on flightsim.to, which is not official from your side, and is very, very basic, but are we gonna see a cabin from your side in the airplane as well?
A cabin is, yeah, I think the second most demanded question on our Discord. We didn't see the priority for it at the moment, because we think that our 3D team and modelers should be doing other things before we go into a cabin. I mean, we have some fake cabin views for looking outside at a fake window.
Yeah, we have this year. We can look out at the window. It's for me it's perfectly fine. It does the job, but yeah, some people want to see a whole cabin.
Yeah. I understand the demand for it. We need to say it has also downside effects. We see it in the A330 from fly-by-wire that you have impacts on performance
Yeah.
when it gets too detailed. I'm looking forward how the performance will be on the A350 by Inibit. The cabin looked very good.
Yeah,
Well,
it
I
it
think
did.
the best cabin I ever saw for a flight simulator.
Yeah, and if you saw the stream on Thursday, the performance wasn't that bad. So it is very promising. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I didn't see the stream, I have to admit. But from the screenshots and work in progress stuff I have seen, it looked very, very good. But back to our cabin. I understand the demand for it, and I think we will have a cabin in future when the priority is given for it. So if we have the resources and the manpower, I think we will have a cabin.
I don't know
If
if
it will
you.
happen for the current plane, I don't know, because of the fitting of the exterior model. But the new will be, of course, have a cabin.
I think that's something to look forward to. I don't know if you see the chat, but there's another question in the chat.
Let me take a look. Here. Why is this based on the A20 not developed by your own? I think he means the systems.
I think so too.
Yeah. So in general, it's easy to say the Airbus systems are very similar each other. So it's not quite a big difference between A320, A330, A340, and A350 and 380. The most systems are really similar. That's why so many Airbus pilots can type rate it within a couple of hours, I think. Yeah, I remember that they have
Yeah, that's
1 or 2
basically.
days, and then they can upgrade from A20 to A330. So the systems are very similar, and it's not really a big, huge improvement to develop them by ourselves. Even the A380 has, at the moment, systems which are based and rely on the A320 systems. So it doesn't make really sense to take already to do not take something what is already there and to enhance it and make the differences, like fuel pumps and hydraulic pumps and other electrical systems.
Exactly.
So the A320 is a really good base for a start to make an aircraft. The fly-by-wire project is great. We like what they do. We contribute to the project as well. To enhance our project and the A320 project and the A380 project. So it's this what I meant earlier. We didn't had some such community development community between developers in freeware like at the moment with the flight sim platforms we have at the current state. So it's a
Absolutely.
quite nice network we have there, and we are happy that it exists. So even if it wouldn't be exist, I think we don't have A330 in this state actually. It
Uh,
will be something like Latin VFR with basic stuff from Microsoft.
Exactly. Even with the point of view that you are doing this in your spare time, it was really great that you had your base and you could just change it as you needed. I think it would have taken much more time if you would have started by scratch.
Yeah, and I don't think that we wouldn't be so much motivated to do it by our own if there is not already an open source community, which is great.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the community is living from people like you and Fly by Wire who are working for the community or doing this for the community and not for their own profit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let me check if I have any more questions. Oh, there's another question in the chat. But I think I can answer that because Fly-by-wire is an open source model. So if it wouldn't be open source, you would not be able to use it for your A330.
Exactly.
Because the question was if Fly-by-wire is cool with you using their stuff.
Yeah, I understand the question. It's you must see the fly-by-wire team is not one individual people. It's a team of many developers. So there is not a general meaning about something. So each developer has his own meaning. And some are very helpful to us and like what we do and try to help us to improve. Some are very, how I said, very neutral on the project, so they didn't care, and that's how it is. So it's an open source community. Everyone is knowing what they are doing, what they are contributing, which licenses this is be given away and will be taken. And yeah, that's the end of the day. So it's we contribute to them, they contribute sometimes to ours, inform us about changes. So it's a good relationship we have.
That's nice to hear. We have another question from John Carlito asking about if there's any update about the A330 CO, so the classic engine option.
Yeah, the classic option. I don't want to say much about it, but I think the first half of this year will be interesting.
Oh, that's something we can work with. Do we have any other questions in the chat? Fair enough. If you have any other questions, now would be your time, because actually I am out of questions. I have one other question, which is not that related to the A330, but how do you like... I think you saw the livery we made for the FS Expo, which is coming in June. We make it every year with a different aircraft. This year we made it with your aircraft. How do you like the livery?
I think this livery is really good. You have it on the last stream, I remember correctly.
No, we used our classic livery on the last stream.
The classic.
Yeah. But we showcased it in your Discord server, and Flight Sim Association posted it on their socials.
Yes, the livery is quite beautiful. I like the liveries you have on your virtual airline.
Thank you.
Also, this livery you have showcased me earlier this morning. Also, I like it very much. It's very, the colors are very matching, and it's quite beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much.
Could be a real airline livery out there.
We're doing our best to make it to make it like this. We have another question regarding whether there are any other projects you are working on with Headwind simulations, and best you can tell by yourself, because our viewer thinks there was an A350 teaser from you, which I can remember quite good.
I think this was an April Fool joke.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
I think he is relating to the April Fool joke you have made last year.
Yeah, sure, I remember that. Now you mention it.
Yeah. So no, there are not any other planes in the work besides the Superjet SU 100 and the A330 family.
One
So
sec.
no A350, no A321, nothing else.
We have a
In the
nice
works.
Easter egg here in the A330 flight deck. If you look on the first officer's side, you have a nice Easter egg regarding the Superjet.
Seems that the first officer has learning some other stuff at the moment.
I think so too. We should have a look on that. How's the progress on that airplane now that we're there?
Very nice. The main developer of this plane is our developer Alex. He made a fantastic 3D work in the last few weeks. I think he showcased already something on the Discord. Besides cockpit and outside modeling. And I think I have to do in the next time some systems for it, because he's already quite far well to finish this project.
Also, something else we can look forward to. I think right now it is using the A320 cockpit. Is that correct?
At the moment, it's using the A320 cockpit, but the new cockpit it's quite well done already. Texturing is at the moment happening. Modeling is already done, so we are really close to making the systems, which is a bit hard because all the FCOMs and informations are on Russian and in Cyrillic, so they don't have really English variants. Yeah, it will be funny to make the systems when you can't read the language and I have to translate everything.
I think Google Translator is not the best option for that.
No. I think we need to train a ChatGPT model to translate it, or a deeper model to better understand what the meaning of some of the stuff is.
Or maybe if some of our viewers speak Russian, they could contact you.
Of course. I mean, I had Russian in my school. It's 20 years ago. It's not very in my brain anymore. I can read some of the Cyrillic stuff, but it's not that much anymore that I can read a rule of FCOM to be model 1-to-1 into flight sim.
We have another question, but I think there's a big thank you in the chat, which is going to you.
Ah, that's nice. Thank you.
But now that we're mentioning it, there is another question in the chat.
Yeah, let me see. Is there a new overhead? Yeah, the overhead is on the works. It's not yet finished, it's not yet ready, but it is in the works. It needs to be adjusted to the cockpit and it needs to be textured. And when this is ready, we can start making the underlying systems.
Will it come before you give us the new outside model update, or will it come with it?
The overhead panel will come as phase 2 update.
Okay.
So it will come to the current model before the renew model.
So
that's the plan.
I think it's good that you made it in phases and you give us one piece by another, so we always have something to look forward to and to work with. So now we have the new glare shield, the new pedestal, which is nice to work with, nice to have, brings you more realism. You have the new flare model, And when then later on will come the new overhead panel, we have the complete new outside model, like you said. You said there will be coming a new cockpit, which is done from scratch, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if you will update it over and over, and all in all, it will be it will stay one of my favorite aircraft.
I think this was the biggest problem we have made in the last 2 years. We said that we have something, we said we are doing stuff and we are ready for stuff, but the last pieces are not really ready and still in the works, so it all get delayed. And I think the best approach is to be making these phase updates. In the origin we had planned 2 phase updates, one
Istanbul
for the
traffic,
current
speed
cockpit,
261 on
so
final runway
main
35
crystal,
right.
tail shield, main panel, and the second one for the overhead. At the moment I think we will be having more phase updated, with other stuff also coming after this or between. So at the moment I'm not really sure if phase update 2 will be the overhead panel or if we will bring enhancements to the system between them. But yeah, it's a better approach. You guys in the community can already have the promised stuff. We are finished already. You can fly it, you can give feedback, and so it's a nicer workflow together with the community to enhance this model.
Absolutely. We have another question from Thai Games, which is one of our pilots currently flying also to Hurghada as we have this event today. He just departed 1 hour before us. He is asking if the livery makers or the community will get the outside model earlier so they can make the new liveries ahead of the release, or will it be closed until release?
It will, we will be making something available before the release of the outside cockpit model and the cockpit. So yeah, we will having a paint kit available before release. I'm quite unsure if we will make available for everyone or if we will make it only available for some selected painters already. So we have an insider group with some painters, with some content stuff creators to get information before releases, to prepare stuff. And I think this will be also be with the outside model.
Cannot wait for this. I hope we stay in a close contact so that we can be one of these insiders, so our livery makers can start directly.
Yeah, so it's planned to have the insiders on board to prepare stuff. We have already livery creators approved on our Discord, and if you are not approved and you are a livery creator, contact us and we will give you the assigned roles, and you will be getting the information before all of them.
Sounds good. Will there be coming a new livery pack as well, like you have it now?
Yeah, there will be coming livery packages, so we will be providing stuff. I'm quite unsure if we will provide them by ourselves or if we do it together with our livery creators.
Okay.
There will be progress. I can say there will be new contributionship or partnership announced, I think, in the next week, and we will be having a new vendor to our installer, and this will be having to do with deliveries, and I think, without saying too much at the moment, that this will be also the partner for future delivery stuff.
Sounds great. We have another question asking what are the functions which will be coming in the new update, which are the exact functions which are coming. I think you mentioned it in the beginning of our talk, for all viewers who just came now.
So the next update, I think he is referring to,
Yes.
We will be having it. Let me look at my changelog list to not forget stuff. So here we are. So we will have an change to the refuel logic.
Okay.
But in the EFB there is the option to fuel the plane,
Yeah.
and there is at the moment a logic which is from the A320, which is completely wrong. It's wrong for the A330, not for the A320.
Yeah.
For the A330, it has to be changed, and we have changed it because if you're doing some short flights, I think a good route will be between Frankfurt and Berlin.
Yes.
And you have too low fuel volume in the tanks. And
Okay.
the problem is that the outer tanks, the wing tanks, get filled before the rest of the tanks. So they are in the outer tanks and then get through gravity to the inner tanks. And the inner tanks are feeding the engines.
Yes.
And the distribution logic is in the A330 that the inner tanks get loaded before the outer tanks. And if the inner tanks have a certain level, then the outer tanks get filled to a certain level, and then the inner tanks get filled again. And this logic will be coming in the next update, which will be help or solve the issues that if you fuel your plane with lower than 10 tons, that you get ECAM warnings with TK too low.
Yeah. One question regarding the fueling. I don't know how much you're working with GSX integrations, but one issue I came across was that when refueling with the GSX, even when we are at the wished fuel level, the fuel track won't disappear. It will just continue refueling without giving us any fuel, but will never disappear. Do you know something about that?
GSX is sometimes a big miracle to me. Sometimes it works flawlessly, and sometimes from out of nowhere it doesn't work like it expect to be working. So if there are problems at the moment, I need to look into it. I'm not aware of them because I didn't use GSX in the last 2 weeks by myself. But I will look into it if there are problems and look if we have, because of the change to the fuel logic, eventually have a bug with GSX now.
Okay, that's great to hear.
It could be the issue.
Oh yeah, that's possible. But off to the onto the back to the updates, which will be coming next.
Back to the update. So we have the refuel logic. We will be having new sounds. The Revyn sound was hearable at your.
Yes, it was. It was.
I think. Then we will be having new callouts for GPBS or radio altimeter callouts between 100 and 50. We will be having exchanged them also, so they are now quite better, I would say, than before. So we will have some wire core changes, which I want to go into deep now.
One question, because the question is not coming. Is the CPDLC available right now? I think it is. I was able to enter my hobby code and I was able to enable it. I just hadn't the ATC to test it. Is it available right now?
It is available.
Okay.
You can use it. You set your hobby code into or your St. Intentions code into the EFB.
Yeah,
and then you need to have the right weather sources to have it available with Wetsym and Wow, I think. That's a requirement, and then it should be working. So in my test, it's working. So it could be we have bug if you make a turnaround with your aircraft. That's on the second flight it doesn't get worked anymore. That's what we're looking right now at the moment. But in general, CPDLC is available.
Okay, that's for that. That was a question which was coming right now. We were at the audio systems. We had the V1 callouts. We had fly-by-wire adjustments, which you wanted to go in that deep. Anything else we can expect in the next update?
Yeah, we have some model enhancements like the spare bulb set we talked already. We will having changes to the McDo. This is all at the moment getting a refactoring by fly-by-wire, and we will also refactoring the A330 pages on that. So that will be available. We will having the changes to the flight mode and flare mode. And that's all I can say for now. And of course, the traffic call signs.
The traffic call signs, yeah, sure.
Will be available with the next update here.
I think what you mentioned with the CPDLC, there is a problem with the fly-by-wire source code, as METAR is not available from EVAO, and so you cannot use the CPDLC with EVAO. Do you know anything of that? Because if you
didn't know anything of it.
Because if we can go into the settings, if you look in the stream, we have the METAR source, which is also only available for Pilot Edge, Microsoft Flight Simulator, or VATSIM, but not from EVAO.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't. Okay. I don't know if fly-by-wire has patched this out and removed the EVAO METAR source. But
it is gone for quite some time. It is gone for quite some time now.
Okay. I need to look into the code, what happens there over at fly-by-wire and why they have removed it, because our functions are relying on the fly-by-wire stuff.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So yeah, I'm not sure why it got removed when it was there before. It doesn't make any sense that it's now away.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Can take a look into and can give you the answer. It's the time I'm being here, and I look at the code, and yeah.
Sounds good. We have one other questions from Thai Games, asking for the icing stick on the windshield in the middle, which is the for the identification of whether there's ice on the plane. Hope you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean. It's currently missing, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think that it will be available with a new outside magazine. As this is the stuff we are doing to match quite right at the moment. When it's not there, I'm coming back to you and I will ask you what it is about. But I think it should be there.
I think we're talking about the same thing here. Another question, I think the wind shear callout won't be possible due to the weather engine of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's why no plane currently can give the wind shear callout.
Yeah. Right. That's right.
Exactly, it's exactly the same thing like the taxi camera for the A380 or the A350, which is coming. Same problem. It's simulator limitations.
Yeah, right. So the current 2020 has some limitations. I think mostly regarding whether it's a license issue.
Yes, something like that.
With Blue Map, I think, was the company, or Meteor Blue.
Meteor Blue.
Something like that. Yeah, some Meteor Blue. I think they don't want to make it available for third-party developers to be accessed. So that's why not any plane has correct weather data. Also the FS Labs, which has announced they have good working, correct weather radar is also just marketing.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
the
It is.
same everything has already.
They just
Yeah.
make it look a little more nice.
Yeah, they enhanced it more. Yeah.
The taxi cameras are not available for the airplanes because SDK, I think. SDK is limiting it. Is it possible? Or am I telling anything wrong?
Yeah. It's the I can't remember in the SDK that there is a possibility to have access to the cameras. So I don't know what will be happening in 2024 if they make them as they are available. So it could be a feature for 2024, of course.
As I heard
Yeah.
from an insider at Anybuilds, it's still not available in 2024 because
Okay,
they had the possibility to make it in the A350, but they couldn't because of the SDK limitations.
yeah, then it's SDK stuff from Microsoft Adobe, and
The cabin is coming later. It's not prioritized. You have the wing views, which we already shown earlier. 1 second here. There is no cabin yet, no complete cabin, but it will be coming. Thought I might answer this question while you are looking for.
yeah. I mean, you can look from the outside also into the cabin.
You can, yes.
There, it's a parallax effect on every window, so it looked like 3D. But yeah, and it has this nice magenta violet colors in the night.
Yeah, correct. But is that an A330 thing or is that a simulation thing?
No. So I think if you go now into the outside and you look into the plane, you should be seeing the violet light.
Yeah, we do.
This is completely a feature by us. Because the A330 has this space design. Eventually, I can provide you the link in a minute.
No, I think I've seen it. I think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's quite new on the A330neo.
It's just when you're not used to it. When you're not used to it, it's pretty confusing.
Yeah, it is, but it's nice. It's looked very good. I don't know if you can show it on your stream right now, but I sent you
I've seen it. I think I don't know if I can show it. Let me check that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm not able to show right now, but I've seen this before. Step climbs are working, aren't they? You can enter them. Yes, you can enter it. You can plan it. 1 second, I can show.
But it's not an automatic feature because it's not in the plane.
Yeah.
Feature.
You can go into the performance page and then you have step altitudes here, and you could enter it.
So it's quite like in the real plane. You enter them and you get the information about them, but the plane will not doing it by yourself. So you have to do it. So
yes.
I think it gets as feature now into the A380 at the last weekend from Flyby.
Yes.
But it's also, and I think they have also pronounced it as unrealistic.
They did, and the same thing is for the Neo A350. It will be available auto step clamps, but it's not that realistic. Well, I'm not too sure about that in the A350 because the A350 is a flying computer.
Yeah.
Another question was, we answered the cabin questions, but is the cockpit door cam coming back?
The static image you can see on the cam.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we can bring it back. We have changed the video selection, I think, in the lower main pedestal.
Yeah, it's not available right now.
It's not. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice to have feature. I think we can bring it back.
I think you're
So,
making.
in the meantime,
Yeah.
I have found information about the environmenters.
Oh, okay. Now I'm curious.
And Fly-by-Wire has removed them in October 2023.
Some time ago.
Yeah, because they are not working. Remove non-working eval, TAF, and meta.
Huh, that's
Eval
interesting.
meters are not even implemented in the Fly-by-Wire API, and the TAF source does not work as the old eval API is offline. It could be there was a change and they didn't re-add it.
They changed everything.
Yeah, that could be the reason why eval is not working in the meters.
If you're saying in 2023, there was about the time, I think in summer 2023, where eval changed their complete systems.
So if they have now an RP, we could discuss to bring it as contribution back into it.
I think they have one. I think you should contact them.
I mean, we are already some steps, before Fly-by-Wire and some stuff. We have the same intention CPDL system.
Yeah, that's great.
Available.
That's great, yes.
I think we can also bring back eval, and eventually Fly-by-Wire will adapt changes into the A320 and A330 then also.
No, the cockpit seats are not moving.
Oh, they're moving in the Phoenix, yes.
Yeah, they're moving in the Phoenix, but not here.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't animate them.
They're moving in the Phoenix and they're moving in the A380 from Fly-by-Wire, but I think that's the only two aircraft I know that they can do this.
Okay. And the position is saved for later flights, or do you have to do it every time?
You have to do it every time. I don't think they'll be able to save it.
Okay, interesting stuff. Eventually we can bring it also into the AC30 if this is a wish. Can look into it.
I think it's a nice play feature. It's for me at least. It's not that necessary to fly the aircraft. Not in the simulator. I'm sitting on my chair. I don't need the seat to move.
Yeah, same.
I don't think that you're the only one looking for these details. I think like it was said before that it's just not this top priority. I think the priority is making the aircraft in the model as realistic as possible, and later on then coming these little things like that.
Exactly. So I have taken another look into the WoW API. There is a documentation about stuff I found. And I see at the moment there is a better API.
Yes.
But this is exclusive to EVA official virtual airlines and selected third parties partners.
Okay, so basically, as we are a partner airline, we could request the API. I mean, okay, we wouldn't be probably able to use it as it's then for us, but I think you could request it, could you?
I need to take a look into it because it looks like that some APIs are required by OAuth by the user itself who's using it, like the Navigraph integration into the EFB. So you have to look in and grant your access, and then it seems to be that you can access some rather API stuff. But I think we can talk about later again about it, and eventually we can do a request as providing some stuff for third-party developers.
I think it would be a nice feature. I mean, yes, maybe VATSIM is used mostly, but we have both networks. We are partner airline of Iveo, trying to become a partner airline of VATSIM as well right now. That's a different story. But I think it would be cool if the pilots have the option to choose and then have the same options for both networks. As
Will be quite
PMDG,
nice,
for
yeah.
example, allows it to use the CPDLC with eval. Just you cannot change the meta source there. I don't know if it's possible to make CPDLC usable without having to select the meta source. I don't know if that's possible.
Let us talk about it again later.
Yeah, absolutely.
And eventually can take a look into it again. Because you are the only one who is using eval in my circle of people I know.
I will be flying on VATSIM in the next weeks more often. I will switch between the two networks. Now was an eval phase, next will become a VATSIM phase the next 2 months probably, and then back to eval.
Will there be coming a secret teddy like in the Fly Via A380?
Do you know this Easter egg actually?
Not really, no.
If you click on the fire extinguisher in the cockpit of the A380, then a small teddy bear will sit on the glare shields of the first officer.
Okay. I know, I didn't know about this. Interesting. I know other stuff in the cockpits and Easter eggs of them, but it's not that I didn't know. But yeah, I mean, we have already some Easter eggs in the cockpit.
Yeah, we talked about one.
Some of them are already found, some of them are not found yet. I'm a friend of Easter egg, so it's, I can say that somewhere is a rubber duck hidden, if you search for it. Yeah. There is some stuff, and I didn't see anybody has already found it yet.
Me, I found only the Superjet data. Okay, I have to go Easter egg hunting later. Now that you said it, thank you. I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining us. We talked a whole hour now, didn't even notice.
Yeah, the time goes well. It was a nice pleasure to be here and to answer some questions.
What kind of Easter eggs? Okay, there's another question.
Easter eggs. All kinds of Easter eggs. I mean, the Superjet one is the most obvious one.
Yeah.
You will find a rubber duck.
We will find a rubber duck.
You will find a rubber duck. You found the hidden spot. So that's what I can say.
Oh god, now you made me look. Now you made me look for it. Is it something I have to open, or is it just there?
You have to met some requirements to see it.
Oh, come on.
We had also this idea to have this this captain balloon. I don't know how it's named.
From the airplane movie?
Yeah. To also have inflating if you push some buttons.
That's classic.
We removed it because it was most used stuff.
I mean,
stuff for Easter eggs.
I mean, you could do it like the option with the pilot and co-pilot avatar, which is in the settings from Fly-by-Wire and you as well.
Yeah. This would be one option, yeah.
Ah, hilarious. Okay, but now I think I'm letting you have a calm evening. I hope. Thank you for joining us. If you feel like you can stay on the stream and watch me try to land this beautiful aircraft later.
Yeah, of course. I will be looking at it. I think I will be coming into this chat now and will answer some questions there. It was a pleasure to talk to you and to your community.
Thanks.
I hope some answers some questions got the right answers. We will looking forward to the update, which will coming in this month. So, yeah, it's only a matter of days, I would say, but I learned from the past I shouldn't say something. So yeah, it will be coming in this month. So it will be having nice improvements. Some of them you could see today in the stream. Also,
yes.
Enhancements to the flight model and flare. And some stuff we didn't announce yet, but will also be surprising.
We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it.
I only can say we are just in the beginning of all of this, and we have more to show in the future.
That sounds absolutely great. We will be landing in about 1.5 hours.
Nice. All right. I wish you a good landing.
Thank you.
I wish your community another fun time with you, and I would say we will hear at the next time.
Yeah, and if you said you stay in the chat, everyone can feel free to ask maybe some questions they weren't able